Hello, and welcome to another Monday Night live stream. This is our first actual play with the Deadlands RPG, so I hope everybody enjoys it. Tonight, I'm going to actually be playing the game. So instead, Brent is going to be running us through some weird West thing that he's brewed up in his own mind. So yeah, there is going to be a fun, crazy night. Hopefully, we'll see how it all goes. Needless to say, we appreciate everybody that watches this either live or as a recording. So thank you so much for doing that. We have tons of other games and contents. We try to have them all separated by playlist. So if you enjoy this, go ahead and check out some of those other ones. And we're always looking for other games to be playing, trying out, and all that kind of stuff. And we try to do those smaller indie games, but we're not afraid of trying whatever you're passionate about. Just let us know in the comments below, and all that stuff. And I think as obligatory for all YouTube type stuff, if for whatever reason you enjoy this, sounds kind of a weird way to say that. If you like this, don't be afraid to hit the like button. Maybe
I,
subscribe if you're not a subscriber.
I think
Stick
enjoy is
around for
an apt adjective to describe
it. It
watching
is
the
what it
show.
is. Yeah. So if you want to catch more our newest stuff, hit like, subscribe, do all that YouTubey things. So with that, I'm gonna toss the hot potato to Brent, and he's gonna walk us through some finishing stuff for the game, and then get us
And
ready to
yeah,
go.
now we'll talk about the hit indie game Deadlands, since you segued into that perfectly.
I don't think. Wait, that's not really indie, is it?
Correct. You're correct. Deadlands is a fairly large.
We
Pi-
like playing games with smaller audiences. How about that?
Pinnacle is the Savage Worlds group, which is a very large game, and then I don't remember the name of the original publisher of Deadlands,
Yeah, we
but
like
yes,
playing indie games like
it's not an
Pathfinder.
indie game, so we're gonna hate this, Brent. We hate it already. Um,
Not as
yeah.
proud of. No.
So yeah, we're gonna play Deadlands Weird West. We are using the Savage Worlds rules Adventurers Edition in case anyone wants to look it up, or there's anything that doesn't seem to make as much sense. It's because we're using a different rule set than the base Deadlands rules. So we do have a few, I think, finishing touches that we had to do from character creation. I believe Jeff had a few spells he had to pick, or powers for his huckster character, that we can go over and kind of say what they do. And then I think he needed to pick a nightmare. Did you have anything that we needed to do, Mike?
No, I think that I just had missed my 5 extra skill points for being
Okay.
super elderly. So
Oh yeah, I forgot your character is on death's door.
basically, there is a
He's
part
both
of
old
me
and
that
sick.
yeah, unfortunately.
So yeah, well, let's go ahead and start there. Um, I don't know, like knowledge skills is mostly for like languages and stuff like that. So there could be ones that you picked up.
Yeah, I was
Do you have
thinking
any
that
ideas so far?
for what I was going to round it out with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I needed a higher strength in order to tote around my massive firearms, my Winchester 73 required a D6 for strength. I actually took my D6 off of smarts, which makes all of my purchases of smarts after the first die double. So that does complicate things ever so slightly. But I do think that there's a little bit of things like repair. I can get repair for a dice. I can get kind of makes him more of a jack of all trades in that scenario.
At least in
Language for
smarts,
a
yeah.
dice. Yeah, so I'll have those typed up in here in just a moment. And I guess I'll spend 2 of those extra points on getting me some survival because I was hoping to have a D6 in survival. But otherwise, I am ready to go with my Aelin elderly bounty hunter on the dusty trail.
And boating is agility, so you can't use any of those knowledge skills in your boating
No,
skill.
no, it was
So,
from when he was a boy on the
um,
Mississippi. I don't
how
know.
are the spells? How are the spells going, Jeff?
I think I picked the three. And it's a lot of scrolling back and forth, but I've got Arcane Protection, Bolt, and Detect / Conceal Arcana.
Okay, sounds good. And then your character's worst nightmare.
Being buried alive and being aware that I'm buried alive.
All right, perfect. That is a
Uh,
perfect thing to fear in the Old West.
conviction.
Conviction is points that I will reward for
Oh,
different
okay.
things. So, I originally thought it was a character, like a character trait, but it's not. It's actually like
Okay.
it's
That's
a
what I was worried about.
it's a meta currency. Bennies. I don't think we have your bennies done either. Which you each has 2 apiece. Which bennies you can use for different things within the game. So you can fill that out. You have 2 bennies apiece. The bennies allow you to do things like, I have to look it up because I don't remember off the top of my head. And everybody will have to forgive us. This is a new game, so there are some things that we do. We'll have to look up a little bit. So if we're too slow, we apologize. I blame Mike.
What?
So for bennies, you can use it for things like if you are doing a if you're shaken, you can use it automatically cover for shaken. You can use it for soak rolls. If you don't like where your action cards are, because the initiative system is cards, which I do have for us, allows you to reroll damage, regain powers, power points. And if you really think it's something that I don't like or you want to change something, you can also spend a Benny to kind of direct the narrative a little bit. So if there's something you really want to happen within the narrative, you can spend a Benny to maybe retcon or rewrite something. So
and we start with 2 then.
Yeah, and I'm giving you guys 2. I don't remember if that's what you're supposed to start with, but that's what we're starting.
Oh, that's what we got. Okay.
That's what you got.
Okay.
So did you guys have any questions about this or anything before we start?
Go ahead, Jeff. Do you have anything?
I had filled out my gear, but I am. Oh, I thought I did. Apparently, I did not, or I didn't save it, or something stupid. All right.
Well, you can pick your basics. Let me know. You can pick your basics while we start, and we can kind of go from there. The first thing I'm going to have both of you guys do, though, is while you're looking at gear, Mike, go ahead and describe Chester Warren to us. What does Chester look like?
So, I think Chester is kind of he's definitely an old man, clocking in at the ripe old age of 65, maybe past ripe, I guess, at that point. Definitely trail worn. His skin is as dry and craggy as the desert itself. Um, a hard life lived on the road is definitely what you can see. His eyes, though, they seem like eyes that still have purpose in them. No matter where he goes, you can see under his Stetson hat, his 2 piercing eyes. He still hasn't lost necessarily his edge up here, even though his body is definitely weary. He hasn't rested in many, many years, even though he's turned in a lot of bounties. He's not particularly well known. He doesn't really like it that way. He kind of wished that he had some recognition for all the work he's done to clean up the Wild West and this lawless frontier. But that's another story. He does have a trusty horse. It's a red dun quarter horse named Buck. Buck is an equivalent age to he is. So when you see these 2 on the trail, you see 2 old, very worn out people that always look like they're trying to find a place to rest, at least from a distance. Only when you get closer do you see that kind of purposeful gaze. The horse, on the other hand, doesn't have it. The horse is just looking for some water and some grass. Otherwise, he's got a nice long duster that helps hide his pistol that is well used, and it's very trusty pistol that he's taken a lot of bounties in with. Yeah, and he seems like he's pretty well prepared for life on the trail.
Sounds good. What about, I believe, Jubal Kingman? Is that how you pronounce it? Jubal Kingman?
Yeah.
What does he look like?
Jubal looks he looks like a gambler. Like he doesn't look like a cowboy. He doesn't look super fancy, but he probably dresses nicer than most of the people that you would encounter on the trails. But his clothes are, if you really look, are a little bit worn. He tries to make them last and keep them clean, but you can tell he's somebody that cares about how he looks, but not so much as to spend all of his money on clothes. If that makes sense. He always has kind of a far off stare, uh, like he's thinking about something else, even when he's in a conversation with somebody. Tends to look over their shoulders instead of at their faces, like he's got something else on his mind, something occupying him a little bit. He seems distracted. But other than that, he looks like he kind of fits in, almost anywhere in town. Doesn't look all that, like he fits in anywhere on the range. Even,
Okay.
Even though he has some background doing things like that when he was younger.
What about his hat? Does Jubal wear a hat? Does he not have a hat?
Yeah, he wears a hat. It's black cowboy hat.
Regular Stetson style, sort of similar
Yeah,
to what? Okay.
not too big, maybe a little smaller than a regular one, but still recognizable as a Western hat.
Okay. He too has a horse, a little bit more nondescript, I assume, than the aging horse of your riding companion.
Not quite as distinctive as my companion. The horse is a little bit newer to him, not to previously owned. We have a previously owned horse. Kind of a little bit gray, a little bit black. Probably like medium age. You know what I mean? Not the everything he owns. Not the finest stock you could get, but when he had to get a new horse, it's the one that was available.
Does it have a name, or is it just the horse?
He calls it a lot of things, but since since it's a slightly used horse, horse, hey you, there's
Okay.
not like a special relationship with the horse. It's transportation.
Gotcha.
I take care of it. Jubal takes care of his animals, but yeah, he doesn't grow attached because he, for various reasons, sells them. They get shot out from under him. Things happen, and then he needs to get a new horse. So
things happen. It's a great.
Things happen, so he doesn't get too attached anymore.
It's a great fortune that Chester has managed to keep his horse for as long as he has.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we join our two characters riding through the desert. They're buffeted by the hot sun, the shades of your hat, the only thing breaking the evening heat, just a few hours from dusk. The creak of your saddle leather and the summer bugs are the only things in your ears, and the heat beats oppressively on you and your horses as your horses hooves clop towards the next town. This town is the closest town that Chester has found that he can turn a bounty into. You've been riding for two or 3 days. It's hard to count since you've been on the road for a while. The body slung over the mule that rides behind Chester's horse, indicating that there is a bounty to be turned in. And this is the closest town with both a working sheriff, post office, and the telegram that you need to turn in the bounty. And you didn't want to wait in the other town. You're traveling ever west towards the waters that an old man once told you would find both your glory and your end. So ever west you travel. You see the sign. You're just now passing a sign that reads Riften's Rest. The only light on a long road, and the shadow casts its long stride behind you as the sun descends. As you enter the town, you hear distant music, like a piano or a harpsichord playing off in the distance. To your left is a sheriff's office and the jail overlooking the entrance to the town, like silent guardian. And to your right, the Hospitality Hotel, its bright, welcoming sign painted, lending its name to the entrance of the place. Riften's Rest, as the sign said. You do see the sign has some peculiarities even as you enter the town. It looks like they actually have electricity in this town, as street lights are lining the town's main thoroughfare. The music continues, that kind of tinny, clanky harpsichord sound off in the distance. Wherever it plays, it must be awful loud to hear in this town. But then, of course, you really don't hear anything. The town, as you pull in, seemingly empty, other than the sound.
Oh,
Where would you guys like to go?
thought that was an old joke. I don't hear anything, so I'm too old to hear it.
No, not an old joke. Unless you go, huh? A lot, then I guess maybe it'll turn into a joke.
Well, my first order of business is that I got this bounty. Is this a dead or alive bounty?
Well, the guy is deceased, so dead is as good as alive in this person's case.
Well, if I can get paid from if I can get paid for it, then maybe I can have a little bit of money for the hospitality hotel.
It is later in the evening, just so you know, but you can go to the sheriff if you'd like.
I will. I've done this before. I'm gonna knock on the door. With very few words presented as possible, and of course, show the bounty, and then point to the corpse on the mule, and ask him where he'd like him.
Okay, so you go up to the sheriff's office. It's one of those old western buildings. There's not really windows per se, and there's nothing in the door. There's a like painted yellow star hanging from the sign that says sheriff on it. But as you knock on the thick wooden door, you don't really. There's no response inside. Yeah, you test the knob and it seems locked. By seems locked, I mean it is locked. Just for the record.
Well, seems locked, but it opens with a strong twist.
Locked, but I guess I'll try harder. By seems locked, it is locked. Like the door, the handle moves, of course, because it's not like a mechanical lock. It seems like it's latched from the inside.
Okay. All right.
You want me to go around back, Chester?
No, we'll find a place for him. And I look around to see where you could possibly. In this case, would there be a where would you normally like hold a body? Would you take it down to the?
There's got to be an undertaker in a town.
An undertaker size, right? That can hold the body for us for a small fee. I suspect that.
You can wander the town and look for the undertaker.
Okay. Well, since I don't see anybody, we can't really ask. Otherwise, it's not really polite in society just to cover it with a blanket and wait till morning.
Set it on the porch outside the sheriff's office with a rocking chair.
Prop it up.
And just bounty. Just write our room number once we get it.
I guess we could ask at the livery stable.
Well, good. Well, I mean, we could also go see where the sound of this music's coming from to see if anybody there can point us in the right direction too.
Please send cash to room. Exactly. Please forward all proceeds to. Yeah. So where do you guys want to go? There is a map of the town. I did put a map of the town in the drive for you guys if you would like to look at it. It does give you some ideas of what it is.
I guess
there is a map and a key.
That was my bad.
Yeah, there is a map and a key. So if you guys, of course, there'll be more wandering than knowing directly where everything is because you guys have never been here before. But just for your guys' sake, I did put it in there so you can know kind of what's in the town.
Sure.
Just to make it easier on me and having to describe everything.
Oops. Okay. Well, look for that. Just.
No, there we go.
Did you find it, buddy?
I found the map.
Hey.
We have map.
But now I have to open the key because the map,
Because I didn't put it on the map because I changed the map multiple times. That's why I stopped putting the key on the map.
Fine. I don't mind that. I'm not complaining.
No, I'm just saying there is a reason why it's inconvenient that way.
I mean, we just take him to the church. You can see the steeple from here.
You can see the steeple from there.
Sheriff's office, jailhouse.
I am not finding the map. That sucks. Where is it located?
It's
buddy?
Riften's Rise, Mike.
It's just a picture
in the Weird West folder.
Pretty sure you have access. Let me make
there
sure.
It is.
Once you find it, okay. And you guys came in from the right-hand side, just so you know.
I kind of figured. So
yeah.
we're at the sheriff's right now. The hotel's across the street from us.
Mm-hmm.
The post office is here.
And everything has fairly good signs, so that's one of the other reasons. Like you can see signage on the buildings because this is a people do come through here, so there is signage out on the streets.
So while Jeff selects that, can you share that with me again, just one more time? I've got the key. I don't have the map.
Yeah.
This would be my thought to go to where the music's at. That's at least the easiest place to find people.
Yeah, we can. That would probably be at the hotel. Probably one of us go in and the other one stay with the horses and the dead body.
Yeah. Knowing our luck, there's no one around. You come back, the body's missing.
Every time.
We do all the work. Somebody else gets the credit.
Until you get paid for the bounty.
I posted the link for you in Messenger. Mike, you do have access.
There
you should.
Perfect. I found it. Okay.
So you guys want to head towards the music then?
Yeah, I think we'll ride the horses across the street, right
Okay.
to the hotel, since it seems to be.
That's not where the music's coming from.
Oh, where's the music coming from? I assumed it was at the hospitality hotel.
Nope, it's not the hotel.
The saloon. Oh, sorry.
Yep. So yeah, if
Just down the street. Okay.
Yep, if you move down the street, passing the few buildings, going a little bit further from the hospitality hotel, you reach the intersection and you do hear the music coming off from that. If you take a right, it's where the area where you hear the music coming from. And as you close in, you do see the Sundown Serenade Saloon, another large sign, kind of brightly painted over the entrance to the saloon. But that is where through the double doors of the saloon you can hear the music playing.
Well, you're better with people than me. I can watch the bounty. And
all right.
I'll go roll a cigarette and look cool leaning against a rail with my horse and his horse.
Oh, yeah, I'll dismount, tie my horse to a rail.
Okay. There is another horse. There is a horse parked near the entrance to the saloon. There is a horse and like a covered like wagon kind of carriage thing. And it's pretty much the only other life you've seen in the town so far as you come this far. Its horse is tied up next to the stable or on the rail with yours. So as you go inside, you do so as you go inside, the music is pretty loud, but you realize it's not as loud as you'd think. It's not as loud as you'd think. It's just that the town is awfully quiet. But there is a piano playing in the corner of this kind of worn down saloon. Rustic tables, wooden floor, kind of the norm. But bright colors are splashed around. It is empty with the exception of one figure standing behind the bar, looking at bottles, kind of in the back. You see him as you kind of stand there in the doorway, the double door pushed open. You see him like grab a bottle and he kind of takes a look at it and takes a drink and then puts it back. And as you're looking at him, you do notice that under his hat is laying on the bar, and you see that he has like a rag or like cloth stuffed in his ears, um, as if he's tired of the music.
Does he look like the bartender?
Absolutely not. He does not look like the bartender at all. He's wearing a worn, kind of a dusty, worn like suit, um, and he has like light blonde hair. His skin doesn't look very sun worn at all. But no, he does not look like a bartender. It looks like he put his hat on the bar, hopped over the bar, and started looking at different sorts of alcohol. Which is
As I scan the room, do I see any evidence of a disturbance of any kind?
nope, nothing here. No tables are overturned. There are some glasses on a table, as if maybe people left suddenly.
Okay.
But just the harpsichord playing in the background, a wheel, steam kind of wheel spinning as it plays by itself.
All right. I kind of stand in the doorway and turn back and I say, "Hey, Chester, be ready. Something's not right."
Mhm.
And
Right.
I kind of walk up to the bar, the kind of cowboy, kind of just hand on the gun casually.
So as you walk up, the angle's kind of weird when you first come in, but there is a mirror in the bar. So, and he's kind of distracted, but as soon as you're behind him at the bar, he kind of straightens up and like puts his hands up and turns around, seeing that your hand is kind of on your gun. And he kind of turns around and just looks at you,
Howdy. Can you tell me where the sheriff's at?
and he kind of looks at you, and he says, and he reaches up and he pulls the cloth out of his ears, and he says, "Oh, the damn thing's still playing." What did you say?
I'm looking for the sheriff.
And he says, "I haven't seen hide nor hair of anyone in town since I got here, which is a little over an hour ago. The only thing that seems to be going on is that damnable piano. It'll play for a while and then shut off for like 15 minutes and then start playing again."
So you're new in town? Where are you from?
Uh, he says he just came in from the same town that you guys were at. And he was riding through. Um, he says his name is Billy, and he is a purveyor of some of the finest medicines and oils this side of the country.
Medicines and oils. Did you stop at the apothecary?
I did to see if they needed any of my special formulas, but they didn't. The door seemed locked, so I didn't. I thought maybe they were closed for the evening, so I thought I'd press on to the saloon and get myself a drink.
Okay. Where is this music coming from? I mean, do I see the harpsichord?
Yeah, you see the harpsichord. It's a mechanical thing. Uh, just basically grinding and playing in the background.
Okay. So you haven't seen anybody since you got to town, Billy?
Not in the couple hours I've been here.
That seems mighty weird.
It's
I mean,
definitely strange, but free drinks.
I'm not going to begrudge a man, who's been riding the trail all day a drink or two, but you probably should leave some money on the bar and not ransack the place. You wouldn't want that to happen to your wagon full of your mendicants and such.
Well, I usually don't leave my wagon completely unattended like this town seems to, but I did leave some money over there, and he kind of points in a general direction. That sort of makes you doubt that he probably left any money over there, but maybe.
Uh, I'm sure the barkeep would appreciate the honor system. Uh, we're My partner and I are going to have a look around town. Maybe we'll see you around. Take care, Billy.
Yeah. Well, if you need me or you need any medicines or unguents or anything of that type, I did look around, and there is one empty room upstairs, and that's where I will be staying. I will also leave money for the room. It seems like most of the doors are locked, but that one is open, and so that's where I will be staying.
All right. Well, we may be back to discuss the situation, but you have a nice evening.
He nods, and he stuffs the stuffs the cloth back in his ears and goes back to looking at the
Okay.
assorted boozes.
I, I'm just kind of looking around the room, seeing if anything stands out as odd that we haven't discussed already. And if I don't see anything, I'll head
Nope,
towards the
no,
doors again to talk
the
to Chester.
the machine harpsichord is a little weird. The electric lights are a little unsettling. That's not really normal for this part of the world. The tables that seem to be just empty, like people left quickly, is a little strange as well. But there's no real signs of anything other than that.
Man, I get outside and I tell Chester, there's nobody in there but the fellow that I think belongs to this wagon selling what probably amounts to snake oil.
Definitely snake oil. And there is like a little billboard that's on the one side that says, Billy's Wandering Agents and stuff like that.
Well,
and that damn harpsichord playing at a slightly higher than I'd appreciate volume.
well, I mean that's troubling. I go and I just kind of give his horse like a quick once over to see if there's anything about the horse, other than it's just riding on the trail. Any brands, anything like that would distinguish it, and also like if his carriage seems to be truly full of medicines and unguents and all that stuff.
Yeah, his horse looks fine and legal as any horse.
Yeah.
And really you would have to bring, and you can't really see it. His carriage is set up to where people can't break into it, so you would really have to probably work to see anything. If you want to break into it, you can.
I sort of grin and I go, Billy told me we wouldn't be able to get in there very easily.
Well, I'm not exactly a lawbreaker myself, so just mostly checking for anything unusual, signs of a gunfight, that kind of stuff. Not to say
He
that he
said he
couldn't
looked
have
around
been.
town and most of the doors were locked. Same thing inside the bar.
Actually, he said upstairs the
Oh,
rooms
just
were all
upstairs.
locked. Yeah, just this is the
Well,
only
the apothecary.
the apothecary was locked because he did stop there to see if he needed any of his medicines, but he didn't say he looked at anything else in the town. He just said he went straight here for drinks.
My misinterpretation.
No, that's fine. It doesn't hurt to clarify.
But the good
Well,
news is
then-
the bar's on the honor system, so we can make up our own prices. If we can deal with the music.
Well, it's not. I kind of look at you, and after kind of like it has been a long day on the trail. Well, how much can you really trust a bottle that's just sitting there, though, right? I say we go to the hotel and see if we have better luck there.
Well, I'd like to, transfer ownership of our companion here, as I point to the body slung over the horse. Before we relax. So I'm with you.
Yeah,
You lead the way, sir.
yeah. I walk the horse down the street and tie it to the hitching post or whatever, and at the hotel, and see if there's any sign of life at this place.
Okay, you enter the Hospitality Hotel. It has it doesn't have double doors on it. It has like a regular door, so you go inside. It's unlocked. You enter it. It's dimly lit with the same electrical lights as everywhere else in the town seems to have.
Mhm.
As you enter, it's a pretty wide open common area that they probably serve meals and stuff in here. And there's a desk towards the back of the hotel with a bell on it. But this kind of like the saloon, you don't really see anybody. There isn't anybody here. As you look around, you do see some like scuff marks on the floor and some signs that there may have been some sort of scuffle, something of that nature. But you don't really see anything else other than that. Um, yeah, and the bell just kind of sits there alone, and
Okay. So just the person inside me, that's interested in these types of things. I'm going to check out those scuff marks a little bit. And can I tell if they're like someone being drug out, like fingernail scuffs, or are they more like just dug out pieces of the floor from like a piece of wood or like a boot? Like what can you describe that a little more?
um, one sec.
Just want to make sure it's not like 5 fingernail marks on each.
No, it's more like boot. It's more like boot scuff marks. Like it could
Okay.
indicate that somebody was dragged out there. It could indicate there was a fight. Like two men got in kind of a fisticuffs, and were wrestling around, and their boots left, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things that look like they've been tipped or bumped, um, but no signs of like no blood that you can tell or anything of that nature.
I
Okay.
walk up to the counter and ring the bell while he's examining.
One second.
Not obnoxiously, just one solid one, since I don't see or hear anything.
Yeah, the bell rings pretty loud and kind of breaks the silence of the hotal. You do so as you approach the desk, you do see that there's a door, like a swinging door to a kitchen off to like the left side, and then on the right side there's like another door with a like doorknob and a lock that's probably with a key this time. That's probably like living quarters, probably the innkeeper, um, and their family. And you don't hear anything other than you don't hear anything, but you do hear a little bit of from like the kitchen, but you do hear a little bit of scuffling, um, like movement in the innkeeper's room. It sounds like it's not very loud, and it's kind of like a kind of a thump, or like just movement. Like you can't tell, like somebody shifting weight or rocking on a rocking chair or something like that.
Should we check that out, Chester? You hear that?
Well, I'm inclined to think that if they're not coming to greet us, then maybe they want a little privacy. But I'm getting a little bit concerned that this town is a little vacant for my liking. How about we go to the next town?
And the adventure's over.
No, so that's the derailing player in me saying that. Next town, we need to drop off this bounty.
The next town,
Okay,
you
well
ride in, and it seems surprisingly empty,
you
as
nope
every town you've tried for the last 6 months.
you head towards the next town, and for some reason you get a like half a mile out of the city, and you find yourself in front of that same sign that says Rift and Rise.
That's a different game, hopefully. No,
No,
but I think
that's what would happen in this game if you rolled out of town right now.
So I'll walk up to the door where we heard the noise. I will politely, knock a couple of raps and say, "Excuse me, pardon me, hate to bother you, paying customers out here."
Um,
Uh,
you hear the same sort of like rustling, but no one says anything. There's no sound or anything like that.
well, worst case
Hello, is
scenario.
everything okay in there?
Nothing.
Uh, Chester?
Well, I'm, you know me. I'm always on edge. I feel like you know, the ne'er do wells are just around the other corner. So I'll flick the clip off my gun and just to kind of keep it, just to be ready with it. Um,
But you're
but
still holstered.
what's that?
It's still holstered.
It is. It is. I'm just making it so that if I need a quick draw, that I do have
I
it.
will remove the thong from the hammer of my Colt as well then. And,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the door.
Yep, and the door swings open with a creak.
I am not
And
standing in front of the door.
gotcha.
I
I
am
figured you're kind of off to the side. You're
just a
SWAT.
little bit.
You're SWAT teaming the door. Gotcha.
Not fully, but I'm also not.
Just to let more of a description too. There is, as opposed to the rest, there has been some money spent on the hospitality hotel. There's like a frosted like window in this door, but it's dark inside and you really don't see anything. But as soon as you try the doorknob, the door does swing open with an audible horror movie style creak. It's the old hinges of this, like as it kind of as you because you kind of open it and like push it, I assume, swing it open so
Yeah.
you're not in front of it. You are hit by this. You don't hear anything, and it is very dark in there, as if somebody's covered the windows. Any windows that might be in this room. There's no electric lights on. The first thing that you notice is this strange kind of animal smell that comes hard out the door. It's a mix of like animal and blood and maybe a little bit of sickness. Um, Kind of a light putrid smell, like those lights are like that smells ever light that kind of reaches your nose. And even you, Chester, being further away from the door, that kind of strong smell um kind of reaches you as the air kind of wafts in from the opening of the door and then cycles back out.
I step back and bring my left hand up to my nose, and good lord, that's fetid in there.
I grab a handkerchief, wrap it up, put it over my face, kind of come over to see what I can see. Does it? It's you said it's dark in there or anything like that?
Mhm.
Is there a lantern or something I can go light and see if we can't get something in this room?
There
Or
aren't
is it?
any
I mean, it's,
lanterns. There is a light kind of like going in, but it doesn't go very far in, and it's kind of off to one direction. You can
is
reach
there a
around.
switch?
There is a switch on the inside of the door.
All right.
Okay. The lights come on, uh, kind of like that. You get kind of that weird flash bulb effect as the lights are
Mhm.
really bright in comparison to this dark room. And you see as the light comes up, it's like a one bedroom room with like chamber pot and bottles and kind of functionary uh, decorations. What you do see is you do see a bed. And on the bed are two bodies that are kind of laying next to each other. Um, and you can kind of assume it's the innkeeper and his wife. That putrid smell and kind of sickness smell is obviously coming from them. They're very pale, so pale they appear almost blue. Um, they're dressed in probably normal daily clothes. It looks kind of like they just walked over to the bed, maybe got sick and passed. They aren't covered up, anything like that. They're just like laying there next to each other.
Well, what? So based on my apparent knowledge of dead bodies and everything like that, is there any sort of way to indicate, if I could at this distance, their skin, all that stuff seems to indicate that they're dead, but could I get an estimation for how long? I mean, it seems like there would be flies and stuff in here too, or is that not the case?
There are no flies in here.
Hmm.
Um,
Now that's strange.
they either are, there's no flies in here. There's nothing to indicate they've been dead for long.
I grab my handkerchief just to cover my nose and mouth at this point.
Hmm.
You think it's a pox or something?
Well,
Anything else you need? Anything else you'd like to tell? You need to get closer.
well, I'm
That's
not
why
too
I'm
good
asking
with
if he
that
thinks
stuff.
it's the pox. He's lived longer than I have and probably seen more.
Well, unfortunately, I can't see any bullets from here, so that's the extent of my ability to tell whether they've gotten sick or not. Um, well, that's a terrible end for folk. Do we see anything that would like I go and I kind of check around, like now I'm kind of like looking to investigate. Do they have like a guest book that shows like people that have signed in and what dates they signed in and everything like that? Do
Mhm.
we
They do have a guest
I
book.
I go over the guest book and see what I can see there.
There's the lodging book. It has it's been it's been a couple days. It's been 1 or 2 days since the last guest checked in. There are a few check-in dates for about 5 or 6 people. There are no check-out dates from the recent 5.
What was
We'll
the
say
last
6 people.
rented room?
2 days ago.
What's the room number? Sorry.
Room number, it's in tens, so the second floor would be 10, the third floor would be 20, so it would be room, let's say 15.
Okay.
All
Do
right.
we
Yeah, I look
in
on the
the-
wall where the keys are and see if there's a key for 15.
Did I lie to you? Give me a second. Let me make sure I remember how many stores
Oh,
there are.
sure. No, I'm just
I lied. It's room number 10. There's only 10 rooms on each floor.
okay. So here's my thought, Chester. If it's a sickness, the person most likely to be alive is the last person that checked in. So I'm gonna grab the key for 10. I mean, there's got to be a master key or
There is a master key hanging on the wall.
Okay. And I'm gonna go. I think we should knock on 10 and see if anybody's alive in there.
Okay. Before we do that, I look for anything else that might, just now that we have some sort of indication that there's something here. Like I go and check the other doors just to see if there's anything in there that we should see. Keep
the
a
kitchen?
nose out for scent.
The kitchen? The
Yeah.
other door? Yeah, it's a swinging door. It's like a double door, just so they can easily go in and out of the kitchen. Yeah, it's just a kitchen. There's some food in like an ice box. That's the ice box mostly melted down. There isn't any fresh ice. Well, it's electric, so the food is stored. They have a fancy like electric type ice box. It doesn't look like anybody's been in the kitchen very recently. There's knives hanging around, that sort of thing, but there's no one in the kitchen.
Okay. Fixer upper, good real estate. Might make my fortune running a hotel, I guess. That's my legacy. Took a hotel that I just stumbled upon.
You're gonna buy the hotel from the dead people on the bed and live out your golden years.
It's an honor system.
I after all these bounties, maybe I'm due for some time in the hospitality
if
industry.
nobody else is around to contest the sale, it is the honor system. I did bury him with $10 in gold. I swear to God.
Yep. And their worldly possessions. Okay, well, it's as long as there's nobody in the kitchen, or there's like some vat of food that just looks pestilent or something like that.
Nope.
That's
nothing.
Okay. All right. Then I guess it's time to go check out room number 10 and see if we can't check in.
Yeah,
on
we'll check out room number 10. We'll knock. We're not just barging in, but we're gonna knock first.
Okay, so you go up to room number 10. Number 10 is actually the first door on the floor, because they're 10. It's from 10 to 19, and then the second level is 20 to 29. Okay. You assume, based on the numbering convention, as you go upstairs. So you go upstairs, and room number 10 is the first room on the left. You knock on the door, same sort of thing. You don't get a response.
Okay. Before we do anything else, I'm going to check this hallway for more skid marks, drag marks, that kind of stuff to see if there's anything to indicate that somebody's already been here and taken some of these bodies out.
Nothing in this case, no.
Okay.
I tried the door without the key to see if it's locked.
It is not locked. It actually, again, it swings open for you.
Excuse me, pardon me, hate to interrupt. Just trying to see if anybody's alive in this town.
Weirdly enough, it's kind of similar to downstairs. One room, really to the bed in the center of the room. You do see a window. It looks like there is like a heavy blanket that's been like pinned over the window. And as you flick the light on, same thing, left side, flick the light on. You see kind of the same sort of situation. You see a figure laying on the bed. Looks like they're in their travel clothes. That blue-gray color, the same as the others. It's a little bit easier to see in this room because it's a little smaller than the other room. You see the figure is dressed in those bed clothes, completely bald, like no hair. And again, just laying there. Same scent, same thing, the same smell, just kind of hits you like a wall
I'm
as
gonna
it
walk over to one of
breaths
the
in.
windows and look at the blanket.
Hmm.
I'm gonna move it so that light shines into the room.
Okay.
Sunlight, if there's any coming in.
Yep. So immediately upon light streaming in the room, the former figure on the bed, um, you don't really see it move per se, but it rolls onto the falls onto the floor. You're not sure how that could have happened, but it definitely moved away from the sunlight
Okay,
as it streamed on the bed because the window's like right above the bed. So, and you also notice that with the window, since it is facing that direction west, you do notice that the sun. You probably have a 1 hour left of sunlight.
as I jumped back when the body moved and was hanging on to the blanket, did the blanket come off, or is it really well secured?
It's secured pretty well. If you pulled it, you could probably pull it off. The nails will probably pull out, or you'll rip it. But that'll take some effort.
No, I was startled. I jumped back. I have my gun out.
Okay.
I've drawn my Colt.
You hear kind of a rasping breath, under the bed. But that's it. Nothing else
Damn it,
happens.
Chester! Can you see that thing? It moved.
You can't.
Yep.
It did move, but you can't see it.
I saw it move, and you're wondering why my gun's already drawn. Like as soon as that thing popped off the bed, it was out of the holster and ready to go. Not like those quick drop people that are like leaning back and doing their thing, which is kind of funny in its own way. But no, it was out ready.
There,
For
a new smell hits your, along with that animal smell and that kind of putrid sickness smell. A new smell kind of arises from under the bed. You kind of like smell like a charred meat sort of smell that kind of wafts up into your nose.
Are you alive under the bed?
No answer. You just hear that kind of rasping breath again.
I am skirting the bed and trying to get over to Chester and the door.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy enough to do. Nothing happens.
Well,
What the hell was that thing? Sunlight hit it and it moved almost faster than I could see.
this doesn't bode well. I think we've been on the trail too long. I don't remember coming across a kind of a shaman or witch doctor that hates me, do I?
Nope. You're just the one that told you to go west. He may have hated you. It's hard to say, but he definitely told you to go west to die.
I didn't think it'd be so quick.
I'm nudging him. Chester, let's get out of here.
Well, I think there's
Room,
wisdom in that. So I'll pop down the stairs with Jeff, but I think it's
I am locking the door to room number 10 using the master key.
Okay.
Shall we go check in on Billy and see if because the problem is if that door was unlocked,
for the church.
You're gonna head for the church?
That seemed unnatural, and there's no people around other than the people lying in these beds. My guess is if we check the rest of the rooms, we'll find more of whatever the hell we just saw. But if anybody's alive, they might be at the church.
Well, let's go check on Billy first. I have a bad feeling that if he went into an unlocked room, similar to this situation, he may have come a little closer in his encounter than we did. Let's go though.
Let's go check on Billy. I don't think I'm walking my horse this time. I think I'm riding it.
We ride our horse 6 feet.
Well, it's a bit.
40
it's
feet, 50 feet.
It's a couple yards between the because you have to go around the corner unless you're going directly, which then there's a bunch of like little fences and other stuff in the way.
And my
Are you going by the actually this is important. Are you going by the road or are you going to go around the road and go like straight? Are you going to go between the houses?
I
I'm gonna
think
go
I'm going
straight
on the
there.
road.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's
So-
a sniper, then I guess.
So you're not going on the. Say that again.
We're going direct from the hotel to the saloon.
So you aren't going down to the T junction and going right. You're just going through the back.
Oh, gonna get our horses from the front of the hotel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the front of the is the front of the hotel on the 14 side? Is that what I'm seeing? Or where's the front of the hotel?
No, the front of the hotel is on the
Main road?
on the main road.
And then the front of the saloon is on the T junction to the left.
Yes. Yeah. If you go straight down the road and go right, it would be number 9 is the saloon. So
yeah.
What I'm saying
So,
is
yeah,
you can go down that
Yeah, I
alleyway.
thought 9 was the general store. I thought 3 was the saloon.
Oh, am I wrong? Oh, okay.
Key.
I'm confused. That's
Okay.
why. Yeah. So yeah, no, you can go right there. Never mind. Forget it. You're right.
Yeah.
It is closer than I intended.
I was like, we just pop.
Well,
over.
not I intended, but I moved things around a little bit a couple times and I got confused. So yeah, you
Okay.
can go right to the saloon.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and we're gonna go over there and we're gonna go in the door and yell for Billy. Billy.
Well, the
Or
harpsichord is
unless
still
he's down in the bar, I guess.
the harpsichord is off. It isn't playing anymore. You just realized after kind of the shock of what happened in the room, you really didn't notice until you got outside that you're not hearing the music anymore. And yeah, you yell for Billy. He's not in the front area, but the harpsichord is off. And yeah, he's not in the bar.
Yeah, he said he'd be upstairs. Did he tell me the room number? I didn't write it down.
He just said one of the rooms was unlocked, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
and there's
That's
only
metagamey. I'm just trying to jog your memory.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, he just said one of the rooms was unlocked.
All right. I have my pistol out, but I'm like, we should go up.
Is this horse and carriage still there?
Mhm.
Okay. Does the horse look dead now that I know?
Nothing looks dead.
Fair enough.
So you
Okay.
going upstairs? Okay, you go upstairs. It looks like from the number of doors up here, it looks like there's only 5 rooms up here. And all the doors are closed. So whatever you want to do.
Whichever one's closest to the top of the stairs, I walk up to and knock on. And call
Yeah,
out, Billy.
Nothing from that one.
Try the door. Was it locked or unlocked?
That one's locked.
Can I position myself in a way to see the downstairs and up? Kind of like standing at the stairs to kind of like look both ways.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. So you do the same thing on the second door and then the third door. And on the third door, you see the 5th door at the end of the hallway like open, and like Billy kind of steps out with a drink in his hand. And then he kind of raises his glass and says, "Hey, I got it to turn off."
That's good. It was annoying, but we stopped at the hotel, and there are people who appear to be dead, but move suddenly if the sunlight hits them.
He kind of frowns and says, "Are they like sick? Do they need some of my special treatments?"
I don't know, Billy, but I'm guessing your special treatments even won't help. But I don't know that we should stay here.
Billy kind of goes, "Well, I mean, it's a nice room. I mean, it's the only one, so you can't stay here. But I think I'm good. I mean, the town's quiet. I think it's fine."
You got yourself some protection, Billy?
He gets a funny look on his face. "Oh, you mean a pistol?" "Yes, I have a pistol."
This is going to sound like an odd question, but were there blankets nailed up over your walls, over the windows in your room?
"No, this is just a normal room."
All right. If you hear any shooting or anything, maybe try and come aid us. And if we hear any shooting coming from here, we'll come aid you. But something's not sitting right here, Billy.
He holds up his glass and says, "I'll be sure to lock my door."
I look back at Chester. Like I tried.
he, we offered. I kind of nod with my head, put my gun in its holster, and then
Billy
go down
Quickfire
the
shoots you
stairs.
guys. No, just kidding.
Right in the back. Good game, guys.
You were so mad about the comment about
Damn you, Billy. No, yeah, you so yeah, he kind
me
of
saying that his medicine wouldn't revive the nearly dead. He took that personally.
he doesn't really believe it, but so yeah, he's sipping his drink. He basically walks out his door to the railing and like watches you guys leave, and then you assume as soon as you leave, he turns around and goes back in and locks his door.
I don't even think he locks his door.
You assume. Well, how about that church?
Yeah,
I'm personally not a man of God. But...
I mean, you tell me. It seems like if something's going on and people are getting sick and dying,
as you step out into the road, you see the sun is very low, painting the sky pink and orange as it starts to go behind. Just go behind the horizon. You think you got about 30 minutes left before it's dark.
All right.
The street lights of the town are starting to flicker to life to make up for some of the dimness, which just gives it kind of a weird feeling because you haven't been in very many towns with electric lights like this.
No, I hate the glow of these electric lights. I hate the coloring. I tell Chester I'm uneasy.
Well, the Sunrise Saloon, as the lights come up, you see that it has like a trail of like bright like lights that go around it that flicker and circle the Sunrise Saloon. They're different colors. It looks very welcoming for a saloon. But yeah.
Well, I think now is the time to find religion, if any. So may head to the church. May just be a big storage building at this point, but
maybe
it's time to go to the church.
As we're riding down the street, as we go past buildings, I'm calling out, "Hello, anybody there?"
The Western Classic Tumbleweed like goes by as you guys are riding towards the church.
Kind of figured, but thought I'd try.
Mm-hmm. 1 sec. Let me check something real quick.
Any horses in that corral over there on the way to the church?
None out in the paddock, but you can go look if you would like. 1 second though.
Church is more important.
So as you're riding by the so you're riding towards the church, correct? So you left the saloon and you're riding towards the church and you're kind of yelling out as you go down that road.
Yeah, so
going north.
We'll drive past the big house. We'll ride past the
as you're going
shop.
As you're going by the road that is Pearson's Corral is the sign on it. And you start yelling out. You do hear like a small voice kind of yell back, and it says, "Yeah, I'm in here."
At Pearson's house or Pearson's Corral?
The big building.
Which is
the corral? Yep, the corral.
So that's like the barn, probably.
It's a barn. Yeah, it's a barn horse caretaking area. Yeah.
Okay, so I tell Chester to hold up. I heard somebody call out real quiet, like.
Well, he's got better ears than me, so I pull back the horse and start bringing it towards the corral and dismount.
There any lights on in the barn?
Yep, there are lights, electric lights lighting up the corral on the inside. They've all been turned on. Like there's switches and everything, and they do appear to have been intentionally turned on. It's not like automatic lights like out in the area.
Hello? Who called out? Who's here?
Do you go in the barn, or are you doing this outside?
Yeah.
Okay. As you go in the barn, the first thing, another smell hits you. It's not the animal smell. Well, I mean, there is a horse smell, like that tangible, like horse smell. But also there's that iron coppery scent of blood that hits your nose. The stalls all look empty, but you do see blood on the floor leaking out from under the stalls. And from the hayloft up top, you see a small figure, young boy, um, peeking out from between some of the hay bales. And he says, "You better hide. The sun's coming soon, or unless you can help me get somewhere safe. I've been hiding up here for a couple days."
What's going on here, son?
He says, I don't know what happened, but Dad got sick and he got real pale. And then last night he like woke up all of a sudden and he killed Jim, and Mom got away. I don't know where she is, but like he jumped on Jim and like I don't know. He just killed him or ate him. I don't know. But it's you better hide.
Chester, what do you think?
Well, I ain't hiding in no rafters as I wait for the end.
Actually, they said actually, I don't. How about the sun's almost down, but we could probably make it to the church. I think that's where everybody is. Can you take me to the church?
We can take you to the church. Get on down here. We
Oh
ain't got
yeah.
much time if we got to be there before sundown.
So yeah, he gets down, and he runs past you, and starts heading towards the church. Basically,
All right.
Okay.
assuming you guys will follow him and
Yeah.
keep him safe.
Then get on the horse and follow him, or walk the horse.
I
the
just do
church.
some cursory checks. I check my revolver to make sure it looks in good working order. I got my my quick clip or whatever it is, the
Quick loader, yeah.
the quick loader. I make sure that I didn't forget to load bullets in it at some point. And not really a god type, but I kind of go, yeah, geez. And
Good
then
thing
I'll
I
fall
still got
after
my
the
spool of barbed wire. It was only 5 cents a foot.
I did name this barbed wire and dynamite, by the way. I don't know if those will come into play or not, but once you said that, that's what I named it. So yeah, you guys head towards the church. As you head towards the church, and the sun starts to get lower and lower in the sky, you look over at the house that's next to Preston's Corral, and you do see a figure on one of the east-facing windows. So it's in the shadow cast by the sun, and you do see a figure looking out at the window, watching the boy, and you guys move towards the church. Say it's very similar, pale, almost blue, normal rough clothes. Its eyes kind of pierce through the window looking out at you guys as you head towards the church.
We got eyes on us, Chester, and they seem like those people we got back at the hotel. Seems like they're moving around. I don't feel good about this. Hurry up, boy. Let's get to the church.
The boy is ahead of you, like he's running
Okay.
as fast as he can towards the church. And you guys on the horses could catch him, but he is definitely making good towards the church.
All right.
Okay. Well, never thought my my last stand would be in a church. But well, Buck, can Buck make it through the church doors?
Yeah, they're tall. They're tall doors. Well, head to the church first. It looks like yes from the road as you're approaching.
Okay. Well, as we get close to the church, I'm going to take my Winchester out. You know, kind of
Me
check
too.
it for ammo, make sure I've got everything ready, and
I like how you checked that gun like 37 times so far since you've gotten it down. Old forgetful
this is
man.
this is my Winchester.
Oh, this
As
is
you
the
get
rifle.
older,
Okay.
yeah, this is the rifle to make sure that I
Yeah,
didn't forget to put ammo in it. You know, in my early days, I would have never done that, but now, even though it's muscle memory, sometimes I forget days.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, you get to the church. You hear the light sound of like a hymnal being sung by a couple various voices. The door is closed. The windows are tinted windows, kind of like stained glass, so you can't really see inside. But yeah, What do you guys do?
What the boy do? Did he run into the church?
Nope. He ran to the door and just kind of started pounding on it. He did try it a couple times. He's pretty small. He's like a smaller kid. So he's trying to pull at the doors, but he can't. So he's basically just pounding at the door. What do you guys want to do?
I will.
Does it
walk
feel
up.
like the doors are barred, or does it feel like
Yeah, I'm gonna
like
walk
he
up and
just
try to open the church doors.
So hearing the child and then hearing you guys try the church doors, you do hear a lot of like clunking from the other side of the door. Definitely indicating that it was probably barred, but it does open for you guys. And they say, you better get in here. It's almost sundown. Come on.
All right, I've grabbed my saddlebags. I've grabbed my Winchester, and I have grabbed my spool of barbed wire.
Okay.
I grab my dynamite.
And my canteen.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
And you have your Hoyle's book, the thing that hucksters always.
That's
carry.
always
You have all that stuff.
my
so.
yes.
What
and
about
my deck of cards?
What about Chester?
Yeah, I don't grab. I mean, if I live through the night, that's great. But I
Do you
only
try?
grab my
Do you
dynamite.
I want ammo and food, man.
Do you try and ride Buck into the church? I mean, the doors are big enough. You'd have to duck, but you could probably both make it in. They swing out.
Well, the problem is that having a big animal like that could get spooked would be pretty bad in itself. I think what I do is I hit Buck on the butt and tell him to go up the hill in hopes that he knows what that means.
I slap my horse on the ass and I go, "Damn it, Blackie! I've only had you for a little bit. I hope you survive the night."
Follow Buck, and then of course, because we had a little mule. The mule's name is Rose. Just kind of trots slowly after the two horses. I remember which direction. Buck's not going to go very far.
The body on the horse, still on the donkey, as it toddles off after the horses.
Yes.
But yeah, they usher you inside. It looks like there's 20. Let me make sure that's the number of people that I had. Don't want to be lying to you about the adventure that I wrote. Yeah, there's 25, now 26, 27, including you guys. If you do a quick head count, there's about 25 people in the church. One of them is the priest himself. But as soon as you go inside, they close the doors as quickly as possible. And you notice that
if they're starting to pile stuff, I help. Sorry.
Yeah. They have like latches set up so they can actually bar the doors. Like there was one bar that was there before, but they've set up additional bars to and they're just nailing the doors shut. You do see as you go inside that all of the windows also have been boarded over hastily, really quick. There's pews leaning on up against the windows and stuff like that, as if to make sure no one could get inside. But yeah, there's 25 people kind of in scattered groups. The church is rather large and open. The pews have all been kind of pushed out of the way. You do notice that this is the one building in the town that doesn't have electric light. It's all basically candles and lanterns. It's that sort of place.
I turn and I'm assuming the priest is in charge, unless I see the sheriff. And I introduce myself and Chester, since he's not good with people.
Chester, not good with people. That's what you call him. No.
Father, kindly, could somebody tell us exactly what's going on in this town?
Yeah, you do notice that the church that there is no sheriff within the church. There's really no one. It's mostly women and children. There's a few men, a couple younger teen kids, and then some older men, but mostly women and children seem to have made it to the church. There is the one man who stands out is the priest. He's tall, lanky, older, but not as old as Chester, which you say a lot when you look around crowds. And he kind of comes up to you guys and he says, I'm sorry you've come to our town at a time like this. I'm Father Barron.
It's nice to meet you, Father, but what's happening. We've got the boy's story about his father killing somebody who I assume is his brother. We saw these
Oh,
bodies in the hotel,
well,
pale and gray as death, but they move when the sunlight hits them.
a few weeks ago, people started getting sick in town. A man from one of my parishioners, one of the farmers outside, he came into town and he was sick. They took him to the apothecary and they were taking care of him, but he died. And we were getting ready to inter him, but that night, I don't know, something happened, and a few of the people that were tending to him also got sick. And we started quarantining people in their room, but at nights they started to make horrific noises, and they would bar their windows. And the one time that we tried to let somebody out of one of the rooms, they attacked us, and they killed a few people. We drug them off from the hotel, and we kind of we made him stay outside until daylight because we weren't sure what to do. And he just burst into flames. I don't know, like entirely, like he's just gone. As soon as people started getting sick, and then people started getting attacked, I told everybody to go to the church as soon as I could. So we've been waiting here for a few days now. We're starting to run out of food, but they can't. They'll come here, and they'll stand outside, but they don't seem to be able to come close to the church. I guess it's God protects those who have the faith.
Amen.
Have they broken into the church? Have they gotten past the bars on the doors and windows?
They
Have
haven't.
tried?
A couple have tried. They came up and tried to break the windows or throw things at the windows. It's like they know we're in here. Uh, you know, they treat in the church like a sardine can without a key.
There's a feller that got into town a couple hours before us. It's at the bar, staying in a room there. What's going to happen to him?
Oh, that's a shame that he didn't come with you to the church. I don't think he's gonna have a good night. Even if he makes it, he's not gonna have a good night.
We tried to talk to him, but he declined to.
I mean, we don't have the
Up.
resources to go and get him.
I
And
don't know if I don't know if we have the time. If they start moving, we saw some of the creatures,
and we
people.
and we don't have any
I don't know what to call them.
and
You
we
know,
don't have any horses. It seems like at night they killed all the horses.
I look at Chester and I'm like, we tried.
Well, they were corralled and tied up horses.
Sure, yeah.
They weren't running free. Now it dawns on you that's probably what was in the barn bleeding was
The horses.
the horses. So we don't really we don't know, we can't stay here, and we can't just walk to the next town. We don't like we're trapped here.
Well, if we can survive the night, we can try and go out and gather food tomorrow. But I don't. Billy had a wagon, but it seems locked up tighter than Fort Knox, and my guess is the horses will be dead.
Yeah. And so, because now, just a mental checklist. One of the townsfolk fell sick, came to town, and then they started spreading it amongst other people. Okay. So in this case, if these guys have just been sitting in here, but the survivalist in me is just like, that's not a good plan. Just prolonging the inevitable at this point. But what can we do here? Question is do we try to get Billy? That seems like what we should do, but
Well, you do hear the church bell does ring, and he's like, it starts to ring, and he says it's the only thing that's automated in the church, and it goes off at sundown. It's going to be dark out if you want to go look for your friend. it might be dangerous.
Well,
I'm not even sure Billy was an acquaintance, but I don't want to see an innocent person. I'm not even sure Billy was innocent, but I don't want to see a person, you know,
is
fallen
well,
upon by
Well,
by creatures.
one of the ladies comes out of the crowd and says, "Thank you for bringing my son. You have done a great service today by bringing my son to us. I don't know how he lived the last few days.
He said he was hiding in the top of the barn.
Well, he is a good hider.
well, so I look at this one of a few ways. Either we wait till tomorrow and hope to weather the night, or we take care of this town. And the thing in my brain is like, and we take care of this town. That's something memorable. People remember people like that. Not a bad idea.
Could be the savior of Riftons.
Chester, slow down. What we can do is try to survive the night and help these good people. And then tomorrow when the sun's up, we can go house to house, and if we see these creatures, we can put a bullet in their skulls, drag them outside, let the sun burn them up, and clear the town that way.
So I do ask. I look over at the priest and I'm like, so you guys, how long you guys been in this? You've been holed up in this building.
About 4 days.
So what? So why? So I mean, what prevented you just from lighting the town on fire and then trying to find your fate on the way to the next one from there?
Well, the priest looks at you and then kind of points to his parishioners and says, we aren't really equipped for that sort of thing. And who knows? We don't. I mean, they seem to only come out at night, but we don't know that. You said you saw one move during the day. Who knows what else they can do if pressed?
Mm.
Yeah, it didn't move. It was laying on a bed, and it moved when I pulled the blanket back that had been fastened up over the window. When the sunlight hit it, it moved faster than you could see.
Yeah, they're fast. And he said, and he kind of points to some of the parishioners, he's like, Dale's over 50 and he hasn't shot in a gun in 25 years. He's not gonna know. He can't light the town on fire or fight these things. And there's Dorothy. She's got the gout. Like, what do you expect us to do?
Got the gout.
It sounds
kinda
like
look at
we are
him
at a
like-
disadvantage, though, at night.
Yeah. Well, I look at him like, like an ancient piece of leather that is like 50 years. Come on. Still a spry chicken.
He doesn't look like a spry chicken, though. Like, you look sick, but he looks well worn. And he doesn't look like he was ever like a fighting man in the first place. He's definitely probably an alcoholic and probably spent more time at the saloon than anything.
I bet he's chopped his fair share of firewood in
Correct.
his life. He's probably wiry.
So how about this?
Cleaning spittoons at the tavern or the saloon.
None of these people look like nobody looks sick in here or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Is there a way to the, what are they? Bell tower, belfry? What is that?
Yeah, you can get up to the bell tower. There's a ladder.
Okay.
You'll have to
And
take breaks because it's pretty tall, but
Well,
you
when I get to the top of it,
you will have to take breaks.
Well, I'll let Jeff go first, and basically, I think it'd be best to get a bird's eye view of what's happening in town right now because it sounds like they just scramble about at night.
All right, and I asked the priest if he's got any objections to us going up into the bell tower.
No, none at all.
Right.
So yeah, You guys take your time climbing up the 3 or 4 stories. It's hard to tell because you're exhausted by the time you get to the top, especially Chester. Um, God, your shoulders are gonna hurt tomorrow. But you get all the way up to the top, and the city, the town looks pretty with the electric lights casting their kind of cones across the
You mean the
town.
unnatural glow coming from all
Yeah,
them
the
buildings?
unnatural glow coming from all those lights and the buildings that light up. And what you do see is you do see a kind of a crowd of probably 10, 5 or 6 um like they're bald. They all look very similar.
Mhm.
Bald road clothes, and they're all kind of circling the church, like walking around as if looking for weaknesses. They'll come around and then disappear, and then come around and then disappear as they go around the church, unless you follow them as you walk
Hey,
around the bell tower.
Chester, you're a crack shot.
Mm, I
See if
do
you can
okay.
hit one with your Winchester.
It's pretty dark around the church because there's no lights here. The reason you could see them is because they're pretty pale, and there is a pretty bright moon up this time of year, or this time of year. So you can see them, but it would be a difficult shot even with your Winchester. But you can take one. And then if you look into the town, you are up high enough to where you can see in the town. You do see flits of the same sort of people, like moving between the lights. You do see there's one house, the house on the farthest house. There's 3 twos on the map. The farthest house to the north. You do see that there's a figure banging on the door there, audibly as if someone's inside. And then you do see a few people enter the saloon. A few of those figures enter the saloon, but you don't hear anything.
Does it look like kind of a facsimile of life in this, except for the one banging on the door? Or are they just
No, they are looking for things. Like you can tell
okay?
they are looking for something. At one point you do see like a cat like run out from one of the lights, and you see one of them jump on the cat and just basically like take what you assume is a bite out of the cat and just hold it to its mouth for a little while.
I like cats. If I can see it because it went into the street light, what would I reckon the distance be there?
It's a longer.
Um,
It's quite a. It would be quite a shot. It would be +2. It would be long distance, so it'd be +2.
difficulty.
Plus it's dim light, so it'd probably be like a +3. But you could try it.
Hmm. So let's see. I'm not a bad shot. I don't think.
You are not a bad shot. But this
Yeah.
is not ideal situations.
Well, I'm just curious. Well, I look at him and I say, I'm gonna pop off a shot just to see what it's like to kick the hornet's nest. And
Okay.
seeing that one that's because I don't want to draw more attention to that house. If there's somebody in there, the last thing I need is a lot of people, a lot of those things going towards it. But the cat, the unfortunate victim, I'll I guess I'll take a pot shot at that one.
So you roll your
Um,
shoot, which is what
I'm gonna
dice?
Yeah, so my character, wait a second here. I got shooting, I got a D10, and agility, I got a D10.
Okay, so
I am gonna
it's just the D10 for your shooting plus
Okay,
a D6.
okay. And
And
I
do
am
you
gonna is there
want
any
to
benefit from like aiming or anything like that?
I'll take one off for I'll make it just a +2 if you take your time and aim. It's still a long distance shot. So I'll reduce it to +2. So you will need 6 on either your D10 or your D6 to hit it. And they are exploding, so there are levels of so like if you roll a 10 or roll a 6, you'll re-roll the dice and add it together. But you don't add the 2 dice together. Does that make sense?
Yep. And I need a 6 to hit that.
Yes.
Just a little wide.
Yeah, so actually what happens is you do actually hit you do hit the figure. Um you hit it and you know you hit it. You're a good enough shot to know that you hit it. and you hear the kind of the crack of the shot, and you see it kind of move, but you hit it in the body, and it just kind of absorbs the shot and kind of looks at the distance. It's got to be looking at you, even though it's far out and it's dark in this tower. You feel like it is definitely looking at you, but then it just goes back to its meal. And as
I
the echo of your shot sounds through the town, and you start reloading your Winchester, you do hear a voice towards the front of the church. What was the name? What did I name the kid? Did I give the kid a name, or did I just call him the kid?
I thought you just called him the
Preston?
kid. I don't remember the mother. Did the mother say
You
his name?
hear a voice. You hear a voice that says, Nikki Preston, come out here. Your father wants to talk to you. You just need to step outside. You need to come out here with us.
Can we see who said that?
No, because it's dark around the church. You see a figure there, but it's towards the front of the church with the bell towers on the back. Okay. So you know where it's coming from. You can hear it just because it's so quiet. But this is you do hear people like you do hear gasps and kind of startled noises in the church as this voice starts calling out.
So these things can talk. I'm going to go down and check on the kid.
Okay. I'll keep up here in case I see a horde of them.
You go down, and yeah, the kid is like clinging to his mom, and she's like, well, maybe he's okay. We should go out and we should talk to him. And she's like, no, we should definitely not go out and talk to him. It's not your father. You watched him kill Jimmy. You saw it. And he's like, but it sounds just like him. Like, we should go out there. And then you hear two other voices saying Darla, come out, love of my life. Just come out to church and we'll make it all better. And just like that, it sounds like 3 or 4 voices talking at the church. And Father looks at you and goes like, in the last few days, they've never talked before.
Yeah, they didn't look to me like they'd be capable of talking, but if you'd have told me they moved as fast as they did, I wouldn't have believed that either. Can you help us prevent anybody from rushing that door? Because if anybody goes outside, they're getting in.
He's like, yeah, we'll push a few more pews into against the door and make sure no one gets out. And the windows are locked. But they haven't come. It seems to hurt when they get close to the church. God's will and all, but we'll definitely try and make sure people stay inside.
Yeah, can you tend to your flock, and I'll get a couple of these people to help me, just brace the doors a little bit more.
Yeah, so he tries to call as many of the people, especially the people whose names have been spoken. He kind of draws them back into the church and has them again start singing hymnals.
I just remember Billy, and I say, Father, have you got any cotton or anything? Some bandanas? We could stuff the cotton in the family members that have these creatures calling out to them, so they don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, he goes and he basically pulls like a blanket or almost like a church covering off the wall. And he's like, none of these affectations matter if I don't have any parishioners. So yeah, he rips the cloth and they can shove vestments in their ears.
It's worth a shot. Can't have people panicking in here. We got to stick together. And I organize a couple of the people to help me, slide a couple of the pews over.
So yeah, you see a small group, not very many, 2 or 3 out front, just past the any light that might come out the windows. They don't get within a very exact about 5 feet of the church as you're watching, Chester. You do hear them shuffling pews around, the hymns echoing out. And that is where I think we're going to stop for the night, with you guys locked in a church, surrounded by creatures of perilous design.
Okay.
Well, you know how you can reinforce that door that'll surprise the hell out of those things.
How?
Barbed wire. The good news is I only took 2 sticks of dynamite.
Yeah, well, good job not throwing them towards the front of the church yet.
We're
I
not
get
that
'em!
desperate. Begone, creature!
Yeah.
You know what they
exactly.
say? You know, you break those sticks of dynamite, you got a quarter stick of dynamite.
Jesus.
You can.
Um,
They did used to split those. I don't know how
they
safe
did.
it was.
It
But they
wasn't.
they did used to split them.
Yeah, especially old dynamite that could sweat. Ugh, that's not
Yeah.
good.
What I mean, I don't know no OSHA.
It's just the nitroglycerin popping out to say hi.
just the dangerous substance. Yes, it's true. So that's
okay.
the first half of our Deadlands adventure. Thoughts so far?
So
Creepy
far
as
good.
hell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always that like nerve-wracking like what is gonna, what monster does Brent have cooked up right now? Because
Well, good.
as I was like, okay, well, they're blue and they're chilling at night, and they seem to be feral, but they're not. Okay, electric lights. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but
Well, good. You're
But-
supposed to. Your characters wouldn't be sure either.
right.
So-
No,
the
exactly.
good
So I
news
did my
is-
job.
Yep, but nothing 2 sticks of dynamite and 50 yards of barbed wire can't solve.
You hope.
I hope. Yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll have to see what we can do to. I mean, right now because we're kind of in a fortress feeling place, but the question is do the people have the willpower to stay? Because once you start getting your family members calling your name, they're like, maybe they're better.
Yep.
Well,
maybe
yeah,
not.
that's why I thought about Billy and the harpsichord.
That was good. And then the food's running low. Like they don't have a lot of food, so that's
Yeah.
a problem you'll have to solve.
Oh, we got some of that prime hardtack that Chester
You have
seems to
you
love.
have you have communion wafers and wine is what you're down to at this point. And your personal supplies. You guys probably do have trail rations and hardtack. So
Well, I don't think God would mind.
Well, he doesn't
if
have teeth anymore, Brent, so he can't actually chew any food.
he just kind of
So he just sucks on the
Yeah,
hardtack.
sucks on it,
till
yeah.
saliva softens it to
Yeah.
the point where it
He
turns
can-
it into a paste.
He can gum it.
Well,
It's your
we could
character,
shave
man,
down
I'm
those
sorry.
pews for some nice pine shaving slushies. Put a little water in there, paste it in.
We can start. There's books. We could just start eating the books.
Hey, man,
Leather covers,
Cal-
man.
there's got to be
That's right,
calories
you
in
can
there
boil
somewhere.
them, right? You can boil
Yeah.
the hymnals.
That's where tassels come from. You ever heard that? Like tassels on clothes. Tassels were rawhide, so you could chew on it, knead it in case of emergencies.
Always got my emergency rations.
That's disturbing if I hadn't actually chewed on leather before.
Yep. Emergency stuff is weird. Extra parts of clothes and stuff that they could use if they needed to. So
We're not there yet.
nope, not there yet. Got a lot of options. Got some options.
Yep,
But
got
yeah.
some options.
Yeah, so
Well-
comments, if there's any comments, questions, or concerns from you guys or the audience, let us know. But I think that's a good place to stop for now as you're in your refuge of Father Barron's. What did I name the church? I have an actual name for the church that you probably read somewhere.
We just have church.
Communion of Lights Hope Church.
We didn't catch that name. That would be awesome if it also was a neon. That would be a great.
Nope, no lights at the church. No lights at the church. You probably would read it on their hymnal sheets though, like their little paper pamphlet hymnals that the priest takes amazing care of in different circumstances.
Sure. Yeah, that'll be good. And I think if anybody is interested this week, we should be talking about Eat the Reich, I think. So look forward to that later this week too. So, yep. I think that's well. Then, with that the case, do we have any questions in chat? I think we still have Monk hanging out with us. That's good.
Yeah, I think Monk's the only one that
It's been talking.
chatted tonight.
Yeah.
We
Sorry we haven't
appreciate
been
that.
more. Sorry we haven't been more chattery, Monk. I've been. I kind of have to focus when I'm GMing, otherwise I'll wander off.
What were you guys doing? You just
Mentally.
won, Brent. Don't you know?
we did it. We
We
succeeded.
did it. We solved it.
Succeeded at what? Whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
We rounded them up like little doggies that they were. They're on a pyre right now, burning.
Yeah. Little
It was
doggies.
fun.
Yeah, good. I'm
Haven't
glad you
worked
guys enjoyed
hard
it
in a
so
long
far.
time.
Glad you guys enjoyed it so far. We should be able to finish it up, I think, in the next session. So it'll be a two-parter. And like Mike said, we will probably be discussing Eat the Reich in one of our curated recorded episodes later in the week. And then we'll have a surprise for you on the other one because I don't know what we're talking about
So we think.
yet.
So
Yeah, given
All
the amount of I don't know, just crap that's happened in the last few months.
talk about anything, really.
Yeah, well, it's true.
So
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
yeah, thank you.
And have a good
We
one.
really appreciate it. Hopefully
everyone.
you enjoy it. We'll be back again next week, Monday,
Yeah.
if you want to join
Thank
us
you,
again.
everybody.